the only thing I can think of, Frank, is they intended to play Wayne Thomas at fullback tonight. This was their intentions before the game. So I just assumed then, there he is on his play pass. Wow.
Lockhart picks it off. Lockhart returning the interception to the 43-yard line.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. I saw this article. It really caught my eye. It was Kelvin Benjamin is going to be one of the guys that trying out at the Giants Minicamp. And I'm like, wow. Kelvin Benjamin? Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah. All right, baby. Oh, man. I'm thinking, I'm like, man, oh, wow. Yeah, last year he had, he was on, no, who was throwing him the ball? And I'm thinking, I'm like, where the hell did he play at last year? I started looking up his stats and everything. He's been, his last year, he was in 2018. I mean, he's missed the last 2 seasons. I mean, I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like talking about, first I read the article, I'm like up here, and then after I got done reading, it's kind of like my excitement kind of dropped a little bit. He's 30 years old, so he's not like, an old timer. But, I mean, he was a first-round choice, draft choice, 2014. He was picked number 28 from Florida State, and he was drafted by Dave Gettleman. But he's 6'5". I mean, when I was seeing it online, he's like about 245. So I mean, he's a big target. He wasn't blazing fast. I think he had like a 4.6. I mean, coming out of college and all. So that was a few years ago. But he was a first pick. But Carolina. He said he missed the last 2 seasons. He played 3 games at the end of the season with Kansas City. And then at the end of the season, they let him go. And then we had a rash, the Giants had a rash of injuries in the 2019, like in the preseason before the season even started. And I think we invited him to come and try out because he just come, the season before he was playing football. So 2019, he wasn't on the team, and we invited him to come out, and he never showed up. So I'm just reading some of this stuff here and there, and I'm even kind of wondering how Joe Judge is even letting him, I don't know, get on the field. I mean, he's not on the team. He's just coming to mini camps, and he's going to try out. So, I mean, I can't expect much of anything to come about it. But, I mean, he was drafted, in the first round, 2014, by Dave Gettleman. His rookie year, he did pretty good. I mean, he had 73 receptions for 1,008 yards, and he had 9 touchdowns. After that, then it was kind of like a roller coaster ride, and then it wound up kind of, boom, plummeting off the cliff. Very good rookie season. His second year, unfortunately, in 2015, in preseason, during practice, he tore his ACL. So he didn't even play at all in 2015. Came back in 2016. I mean, he had a respectable year. I mean, it's 63 receptions, 941 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He had a good year. Then he came in 2017, and he did decent. He played 8 games for Carolina, and in those 8 games he had 32 catches, 475 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So halfway through the season, he had 32 catches. So if that played out for a full season, he'd have 64 catches. He'd have 950 yards receiving, and he'd have 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, you figure for a full season, that wouldn't be too bad. Well, on October 31st, Halloween, 2017, he got traded to the Bills. And then he finished the rest of the season out with Bills. He played 6 games for the Bills in 2017. He only had 16 catches for 217 yards and a touchdown. Now, he did hurt his right knee, which kind of hampered him for the rest of the season. So that's one of the reasons why he didn't have spectacular numbers. He missed a couple of games, so he was hampered by injuries. Then he came back in 2018, and he played 12 games for the Bills, and he only had 23 catches for 354 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, then he got down to averaging 2 catches a game. So then on December 4th, 2018, the Bills, he was released. They just let him go. 2 days later, he was picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you want to finish it out his career, he had played 3 games toward the end of the season with the Chiefs. He had 2 catches for 26 yards and no touchdowns. Now, when the Bills let him go, his catch percentage, like balls thrown to him, was like 35%, which was like the absolute worst in the league. A lot of guys were talking about like his work ethic, not trying, his weight problem. Even in 2018 when he was with the Bills, Booger McFarland mentioned that Kelvin Benjamin looks like he's a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end. So apparently he had some weight problems. And I said, one of the reasons why the Bills just let him go, he wasn't really, didn't seem like he was trying very hard, or, his weight problem didn't seem like because his attitude wasn't very good. He also badmouthed Cam Newton. He said one of the reasons why he had his numbers were kind of dwindling in Carolina was because Cam Newton wasn't such a prolific passer. His accuracy wasn't very, very good. And, if it is, it is. I'm not going to say Cam Newton's the finest passer ever. I'm not going to. Cam Newton's a phenomenal athlete. If you ever saw him in college, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's not the most pinpoint accurate passer. I'll agree with that one. But you don't say that about people. You keep your mouth shut. Be a big boy. Keep your mouth shut. Now, one of the reasons why Cam Newton was having problems throwing the ball was because I believe it was in 2016. Cam threw a ball toward Kelvin Benjamin. It got intercepted. But because of Kelvin Benjamin's lack of effort in trying to tackle the person who intercepted the ball, Cam Newton had to try to go over and tackle the guy. And because of that, he injured his shoulder and he partially tore his rotator cuff, which started Cam, throwing bad passes. You got a partially torn rotator cuff. That's going to hinder you from throwing good passes. I can guarantee you that. So things just kind of, he started off really, really good, and then it just kind of, up and down, and then just kind of off the cliff. His Pro Football Focus numbers, okay? Just throw a disclaimer out there. His first year was a 73.5. Then it went back to 2016 after he came back from the injury, from the torn ACL. 2016 he was a 76.5. So it got better. Even 2017, when he was just about getting ready to be traded to the Bills and all that, it was a 71.2. Unfortunately, his last season was his Pro Football Focus grade was a 57.8. So, we'll have to wait and see. I'm kind of interested to see what goes on. But boy, I tell you, if he does some miraculous thing happens and he winds up making the team, you realize the firepower we'd have. Kenny Galladay, okay, is our prized signing this year, but he's a 3rd round pick. But we're so lucky we got him. But other than that, wow, we got Kyle Rudolph is a 2nd round pick. Okay, Sterling Shepard is a 2nd round pick. We have Kadarius Toney, 1st round pick. Saquon Barkley, 1st round pick. Who else we got? John Ross, 1st round pick. Kelvin Benjamin, 1st round pick. Evan Ingram, first-round pick. I mean, my God, the firepower we got. It's just, oh, even, Dante Pettis, if he used to make the team and all that, he's a former second-round pick. I mean, my God, the firepower we'd have. I mean, if Benjamin comes in and if he doesn't, if he hasn't been working his rear end off for the past year or so, whatever, he doesn't have much of a chance, not even with the Giants, but pretty much with anybody. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, 6'5". I mean, he's got that going for him. He's, at one point in time, he was a first-round pick. So, yeah. But I mean, if he hasn't been working his tail off, he hasn't been keeping his weight down, he hasn't been practicing running routes and catching balls and everything, he doesn't have much of a chance at all. Not even so much with the Giants, but with any team. And I said, when I saw this article, and then I started following up on him and reading on him and all that and everything, I'm like, man, it's even kind of weird that Joe Judge even kind of let him on the field. But well, we'll see where it goes. I said, if I see anything else on this one, I'll certainly make a video on it. But as of right now, when minicamp starts, Kelvin Benjamin, the former first-round pick from 2014 of the Carolina Panthers, is expected to try out. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time any day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!